Hi, I'm Tracie with Freckled Fairy Upcycle. Welcome to my channel. This is a place where I create wearable art from thrifted, vintage, or other textiles. I hope you enjoy. The first step of making this shirt for my mom. So there's a couple of things after the first steps. I'm going to cut this collar off. So just cut right along the straight edge here. And then I'm going to cut the sleeves. You got to keep in mind that there's going to be a ruffle on this design. So I measured and I'm going to cut this pretty much in half. So probably take off about 14-ish inches. And then you need to cut up the side here. I'm just going to cut, oops, that's not the right place. I'm going to cut straight up the side of the shirt. I'm just going to go right along this seam here to keep it straight. So I'm going to do that. And then I think I've decided for the side fabric, I'm going to use this toile. I'm not a big fan of pockets in the front, so this is a men's shirt. So of course it has it. So I'm gonna take the pocket off. If I can't find my seam ripper, because who knows where it is in this mess of a sewing room, I may just cut it off because I'll probably cover it up with lace or an appliqué or something. So it might be easier just to cut it off. So some of the appliques are going to be made out of this fabric. It's actually a remnant from my kitchen curtains. And it's actually fabric that I drew each of these elements in Procreate, and then I designed the whole fabric kind of layout situation. And then I had it printed, and here it is. And I am going to use the leftover to create some of these appliques for the shirt. So here it is so far. I was trying to use this lace, but I think it looks weird. So I probably might try this. So here's the deal. This is part of a vintage piece of textile I purchased. Don't be afraid to get the ones with the holes and the lace falling off and all that. You can use this lace, it's beautiful. And you can also use the embroidered pieces separately, and that little hole does not bother me. We will put something over it, maybe a flower, maybe a butterfly, maybe just a piece of fabric with some zigzags over it. So don't worry about those things. This piece down here is completely like ripped, but look how pretty this is, this lace. So I'm not mad at this that I got. I'm very happy actually, and I'm hoping to use it on this shirt. So I was able to kind of cut around that hole, so I think it'll be fine. So when I'm cutting out stuff like this, I usually cut a rough kind of outside the line, and then now I'll go around and kind of fine tune how I want it to flow. And speaking of flow, when I kind of lay out my things here, I usually kind of look at it with an artist's eye and put something up here and then maybe something down here just to kind of create a flow. I don't want to randomly place things, that's just me, but if that's something, you got to make it pleasing to your eye. But my kind of deal is some jazziness going on up there and some jazziness going on down here. I'll probably put something on the back. I don't know if this collar is done, I don't know, we'll see, but that's kind of my process for this. Okay, so this vintage linen piece, and I'm pretty sure this fabric is linen, is super flimsy. So to stabilize it a little more, well, I'm gonna use stabilizer. So this is stabilizer. It has these tiny like glue dots on one side, and then it's smooth on the other. So I'm going to cut out a piece of stabilizer that's about the same size, and then I will cover it with parchment paper and then iron it without steam. You go like 10 seconds, you don't rub it. So you go 10 seconds and then you move it, 10 seconds, and then you move it, 10 seconds. And you just keep going around until you have the whole thing ironed down. And then you'll cut out the piece. And the reason you use the parchment paper is because it will stick to your iron if you don't use it. So make sure you use the parchment. This is one side, doilies. This is off that table scarf. And then this side, where did it go? This side, I did some lace on the back. We talked about, I did lace around the collar. The bottom of the back, I did a little cute, again, if I can find it, there we go. Just a little cute little patch thing there. And I did, I just covered the old label. I cut it out and then covered it with lace. I don't have labels, so that's the best I could do. I did do a little flower on the back. It's from lace, and I think I'm gonna dig through my buttons and find something to sew in the middle. My mom loves buttons. She's a sewer as well, so it'll be like a little nod to we both sew kind of thing. Okay, so now it's time to work on the sleeves. And then once the sleeve is done, we'll do the ruffle, and that'll be done. So remember we split the sleeves open, right? And we have this little girly. So you're going to sew it right side of the shirt to wrong side of this, I don't know what I think it's from a table scarf as well. But you're gonna, so you can see the pretty lace. If you don't have lace, you can always just sew it regularly and then sew lace on top of it. But I'm gonna do that on both sides. And then once I get that, I will show you what we'll do. It's gonna make just a little cute little puffy shoulder thing. So I can't talk today. So here's sleeve. It makes like a pretty cute little ruffle, slight little poof situation. So I'm just gonna do the other sleeve, and then all I have left is the eyelet lace, and then we'll be done. So one thing I just figured out is to really check the length of your sleeves. I wanted them to be kind of 3/4. I didn't want them to be super long. So they're looking pretty 3/4-y with this piece, because I didn't find this piece until after I started the shirt. So if I add the eyelet lace to it, they're gonna be like way too long. So what I think I'm gonna do is leave this as is, and then I will just hem the sleeve part. Just, you know, fold over twice and then do a stitch. So I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to do the lace on the bottom. This is looking kind of long, so I don't know. I may shorten it before I do that. I think about it. Okay, she's finished. Well, almost. I just have to sew this little button on the back on the little daisy, but yeah, the sleeves. I got the lace done on the bottom. Maybe stand up and show it. So now all I have to do is iron it and give it to her. Don't forget to subscribe and like my video, and make sure you follow along for more DIY upcycle ideas. Also, I'd love to see your creations. Follow me on social media at Freckled Fairy Upcycle and tag me in your photos and videos so I can see what you're up to. My channels are on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. I hope to see you there.